pretty simple. I win.
Hello, guys, and welcome to Indiana Sports Connection. Thank you for being here. I am your residential anchor, and leave your comments on the side. We're going to talk just briefly today about the games that Indiana has left and what they are going to have to do to get into the tournament. And that's why I wrote the title and the thumbnail. Don't panic and just stay the course, because we're just going to talk about, we have seen a lot of different players on this team really develop, play better, and just have a lot more bright spots throughout this season. I think it's going to come down to, and I'm not going to say galvanize. I think it's going to come down to Indiana really, everybody kind of just this last 4 weeks of the season, just playing together a little bit more, playing for each other a little bit more. And just after that Illinois game, and you got the tough Purdue game coming up, we're going to talk about that one, but just finding that identity. Each player on this team individually, knowing their role a little bit better. That's what the last 4 weeks of the season for Indiana really has to be about. We're kind of going to go through about every single player and just talk about where they're at, and then like where they can improve a little bit. And I mean, it's kind of amazing. I mean, I was just looking at their stats on the season and points wise. I mean, it is amazing that Connerway is still averaging 10.1 points on this team, which I thought he's played scattered in a little bit, and he is the one person where I want to start with that. But first, if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button down below, hit that thumbs up button. I have a bunch of t-shirts. I have some signed t-shirts that I got from the 76 game against Oregon. So I have some of those. So if you subscribe to the channel, you win a t-shirt. I have a bunch of different options. You'll get whatever your picking heart desires. Just tell me what you want, because I got a few different championship football shirts, whatnot. But let's get right into talking about the Indiana Hoosiers, because, yeah, I was amazed by this. Connerway still averaging 10.1 points. Can he work himself in? Will there be opportunities in the game? The game against Northwestern coming up that I was kind of thinking, and then the game against Minnesota coming up. You got to remember, I mean, this team a month ago, before he got injured, he was like our main driver of everything. I mean, there was a point in like mid-December to early January where you thought he's the only guy we have that can get to the rim. And then suddenly everything on this team got tipped on its head. So can Darren DeVries bring that back? Can he get him back in there? Can he get him and that's right. It's energy, baby. It's a game of energy. That's right. You got to bring it. And that's where, I mean, even I felt bad for Connerway. Just got in at the end of the Oregon game, didn't play against Illinois. It can be tough. And it's, you get an injury. I don't know if it's the injury. I was kind of really watching him closely against Oregon to see he wasn't doing any, he did shooting in the warm up against Oregon, but he wasn't doing any real hard cut work. He didn't do any dribbling skills. So I don't know where he's at on that, but with 4 weeks left, can he find a game to work himself back in? And I mean, he was getting to the rim and, made some really aggressive plays. So I would love to see the return of him in some way or fashion. I think Darren DeVries, if, as he watches this team develop over the next, what they do against Purdue, and then some of these last games heading into the Big Ten tournament, is you got to really carve those roles out and know what each role is for each player. Next player, we'll go to Connor Enright. And, I'm really surprised about him. At this point that he is he's still way down here, averaging 4.7 points. He needs to give Indiana just 8 to 10 points. In the Illinois game, if he could have hit a couple of threes, sometimes if he just scores 6 or whatever, but we definitely see his effort out there. He's definitely the guy that keeps everything going, keeps everything together, helps with leadership. Him and Tucker DeVries, I mean, they kind of have that main role of the leadership and bringing the energy, and he is the energy. So I mean, you're right about it. It's all energy. I mean, Enright is never not there energy wise, even if he plays 46 minutes in a game. Like he's gonna be just waggling that sweaty mullet around all game long and that very fancy mustache. So let's move on to another energy guy, the guy who has really been bringing it lately, Sam Alexis. And he did it against Illinois. I mean, I heard Jared Morris bring this up after the in the assembly call post game show, but he does have a knack for really getting the ball, getting a big dunk, that type of thing. Indiana doesn't have a lot of guys like that. And the thing about Reed Bailey, it's almost like as soon as he goes out there, I mean, when he went out there against Purdue, got a shot blocked a couple of times or whatever, it's almost like Darren DeVries knows exactly. It's like, this is not Reed Bailey's night. This is not Reed Bailey's matchup. Like, get him out of the game, get somebody else in there to play that role. So, um, Sam Alexis, he just really needs to continue to do what he did. I mean, he had a good game again against Illinois, which was a, top team. And I thought he would struggle a lot more inside with their height, the way that so that was really reassuring to see him go up against like Ivasic and they got like 2 7-foot guys. And even that, Merkovic who killed us. I mean, let's talk about that guy for a minute because I see a lot of people freaking out. They lost by 20 points. That game was a lot closer than it looks. But also what that Merkovic did in that game, and he's coming back next year. I mean, he is a freshman from, I don't know if he's from Serbia, where he's from, but he's a man amongst boys out there. I mean, those type of players, they got 2 guys on that team. Well, they got a bunch of guys on that team that are just better than Indiana at every position. And yeah, I thought he was amazing. He's 6'9", 250 pounds. I really did not know he was that big, but the way he can really move people inside, and then if you don't guard him, like they slacked off of him around the 3-point line, and he made Indiana pay. But enough of that. We're not going to talk about the Illinois game anymore. I did think that it was a marvelous performance by some of them, and I would love to see Illinois win it all. I mean, really, I think they've been there a lot of times, but. Now let's move down to, Tucker DeVries. He just needs to continue to be a good leader on this team. His rebounding has much improved. He's been really killing it on the rebounds. He's averaging 5.3, but he had like a 10 rebound game a couple of games ago. His rebounding is super important for this team because we don't have a lot of big body guys. He's actually one of our bigger body guys where he can position himself and grab those boards. I mean, I think Illinois was just longer and everywhere. We're going to struggle against those teams, but Indiana is the type of team, if we get the right types of matchups in the NCAA tournament, you could definitely get to the Sweet 16 with this team on a 7 seed. I mean, Indiana will have a decent chance, even if they play a 3 seed or something like that in the second round. I think Indiana will have a decent chance because in the Big Ten, I mean, they're playing and competing against those level teams. It is tough on the road. They have not shown a great affinity to like the Michigan State game. It's tied 53-53. Then you kind of like lose it in that game. The Illinois game was better. I mean, they're showing signs of being better because they came out in the Illinois game, really had a lot of energy off the bat. That's part of this team that they really need to work on. They need to bring the energy, and they cannot get down. Like the Louisville game and then the second half of the Kentucky game, whether it was like starting out real slow in some of those games or then just finishing them real slow. I think this team is going to they've kind of had a bye week here. You notice how their schedules kind of played out. It was Oregon and then a weekend game and then a Friday game. They've kind of had a little stretch here where they've not played. They've played one game and had a matter of time in between. So this is a time they should be getting their legs back heading into this last stretch of the season. But dude, I brought that up during the game. He did that block out and did not get a butt on him and grab that rebound, and Some of those offensive boards in that game, they were devastating. Nick Dorn, Nick Dorn's the guy we're going to talk about next because if Indiana's going to live up to their full potential, Nick Dorn is going to have to be able to do. He doesn't have to score 20 a game. There was the stretch of games we had there where Tucker DeVries, Lamar Wilkerson, and him all scored 20 points. We had another game where it was like Reed Bailey scored 20. We had 3 guys scoring 20 points in some of those wins. He doesn't have to do that in every game. I would just like to see him pick his spots a little bit better. He's getting real quick with the ball. I don't want to knock my microphone off, but he's getting real quick to the head with the ball. You can tell he's kind of rushing. I mean, I noticed in the one of the shots he shot, he didn't like the way he brought the ball up. If you really slow it down, he didn't really get any like wrist cock or anything. The ball kind of had a funky rotation on it. All that stuff matters. You got to gauge the quality of each shot the guy's getting. It's not about, and he's still, I mean, his percentage is pretty crazy because on 3-point percentage right now, he is, of course, Ristic is shooting 100% on only, I think, one attempt, but Dorn is sitting at 38.6%, where Lamar Wilkerson is 38.4%. So he is 2 points above Lamar Wilkerson. That's pretty crazy to have 2 guys on your team because, I mean, Lamar Wilkerson, and yes, he was at a lower level, so his percentages dropped a little bit, but Lamar Wilkerson's been around 40% when he was at Sam Houston. So that if he could keep that average, the team is shooting 34.8% on threes right now. One thing we've never seen that I really thought would be more developed, after we had Mike Woodson telling Race Thompson to shoot threes. I mean, I thought Reed Bailey would take some threes on this team. Alexis has taken a few. He's knocked down a few rainbows, but Reed Bailey, he's a little slow and hitchy with his shot mechanics, but I'm kind of surprised that he's not really shot the 3 ball really at all. He's just not going after it there. So how many did he even attempt? I mean, he's shooting 25% on threes, but he's killer on free throws. Get Reed Bailey to the free throw line and he'll make magic there. So yeah, I mean, this Illinois game, I mean, Indiana, I said was a lot closer than it really appeared because of the shot differential and the turnover differential and the rebounding differential is what made that shot differential so big. And from the beginning, I mean, when Darren DeVries came in here, it's turnovers and rebounds. That's the 2 things that he really emphasizes. So when you have a game like that and you don't really bring that energy and you're not getting those rebounds and you're not getting those turnovers, they were like dead walled on turnover. Like normally you see a guy get a intercept a pass, get in transition. There was just none of that in that Illinois game, and it killed him. So, I mean, I hate to be like go all Tom Crean on this team, but deflection, get in the passing lane, deny the ball, like just basic fundamentals. Got to get out there and get tips and scrum for the ball. This team can be. If they start getting more deflections and get in those scrums, get Connor Enright and, get those guys going in that direction, I think that's the secret sauce. This team can play some ugly basketball and keep it close. I mean, even this Illinois game was an uglier game than Illinois wanted to play. Illinois did not want to play a 51-71 game against Indiana. You guarantee I really thought it would be like a 88-80 or that type of a game, a higher scoring game. But it's amazing. Indiana's defense on 2s, they're holding teams down on 2-point conversions. And that's kind of some of these stats are, I don't know if they're anomalies or what, but they're just confusing. That's why a lot of the times I go by feel. Like you can sometimes just see, and I think Darren DeVries is getting a better feel with this team. And thank you very much there, Clifford. I am a blue collar guy. Today was a beautiful day. I was actually, I have a lawn mowing business and that's what I was doing today. So that's why I'm on late. But get to some of these comments here. If this was the roster for Darren at West Virginia, even though I see that, I say that this year, what do you think their record would be? Either couldn't get any bigs or I mean, I think in the Big 12, I think he wins a ton of games with this team in the Big 12. I think this team, I think there's something in the Big 10 where you can have a team in the Big 10 that might not be the team that's super capable of winning the Big 10 or that type of thing, but they could go a long way in the NCAA tournament. I mean, Michigan State seems to do that like every year. I mean, not all the time does Michigan State have these talented bigs and this and that. They just rebound the hell out of the ball and do all the little things. But a lot of times Michigan State's teams, I see when they're in the tournament, they're more versatile. They have more like different I don't know. They're just not reliant. Remember, like the Kofi Coburn teams? That's why, I mean, this Illinois team might be, and I kind of hope the Big Ten starts to move a little bit away from the thick ankle league because if you want to win in I mean, time and everything, the Big Ten not winning one since the year 2000, and that being Michigan State. And then you look at all the success the Big Ten had before that, with Indiana winning their titles and what have you. But and Michigan, in '88. But it's just there's something there with the Big Ten being a little bit behind the times because those teams that are super reliant on one big guy, they have to slow the game down a little bit to let that guy catch his breath as he's walking up and down the floor. And that just ends up really hurting you because a lot of these teams play with a lot of pace once you get in the tournament. I think Indiana can play with a lot of pace. It's funny, they kind of like choose their spots. I thought early on, and maybe it just depends on the team chemistry with Darren DeVries and the guys he's able to get. I mean, I thought they would play more run and gun and shoot early in the shot clock all the time. They kind of choose their spots where they're going to go fast. When, Connor Enright, every time he gets the ball, he goes balls to the wall. But it's, thank you very much, Clifford. Shout out to you for the super sticker. Appreciate it. And I just got a few more things to talk about here. Appreciate all of you for showing up. And I got phone calls coming in. But yeah, we really have like we're on the final stretch. It's amazing. I mean, I was just watching Ken Sterling. It's 4 weeks today that the 4 weeks today that the football team ended, and then we got about 4 weeks left of the basketball season right now until the Big Ten tournament. So the games down the stretch, I mean, Indiana, you play the game at Purdue. I think they got a great chance to beat Purdue. I think Matt Painter, it really depends on what that big guy Klub, if he can, and I never remember his name right, but if he can like stay in there. But I watched the press conference afterwards. Matt Painter was really frustrated with the playing the small lineup against what Indiana was throwing out there. So if Indiana can get that going, and Purdue with Lawyer and Smith and they're not going to out athlete us everywhere like Illinois was able to do at some of their positions where we were really overmatched. We have a much better chance of beating Purdue. And I like our chances because we beat them once with this team, and it's going to be tough at West Lafayette. It's going to be tough winning there. And Purdue is playing some of their best basketball right now. But other than that, I think Indiana is going to beat Michigan State at home. I think the difference, I think they played with Michigan State well. Fears he's been up and down. I've seen him come and go. He played a great game against Indiana in the first game. Fears did. You can catch him he's like lightning in a bottle sometimes. And he like tried to kick somebody in the nuts a week ago. So he got yanked out of that game, I think. And sometimes he can do some head scratching things. So, and Minnesota is going to be tough, but I don't. You got to stay the course and beat Minnesota and Northwestern. Yes, they'll be tough at home. You got to show up to those games just like you're playing Michigan State or Illinois. You got to show up to those games and take care of business. You cannot let Indiana has not had a bad loss. They have one quad 2 loss, and we'll go look at this right now here because they're 34 in the net right now, and they're 24 in Torvak, and they are also what was I looking at here? So yeah, the games that got left. Purdue's the quad 1. See, Northwestern's a quad 3 game at home. And you can't lose that one. And Minnesota's a quad 3 game at home. They've not lost any of those games. They're undefeated in those. They have so quad 2 games, they're 2-1. Quad 3 and 4 games, they're 6-0 and 7-0, and quad 1 games are 2-8. So they've taken care of business in all of these games. Losing to Minnesota, that was kind of out of left field. You didn't know Minnesota was going to be as tough as they have been, and I've seen Minnesota really take it to some teams when they're playing at home. But so then you got Northwestern, Michigan State, obviously quad 1 game. They're top 10, and then you can't lose to Minnesota at home. At Ohio State, I think they win that game. I don't have a lot of faith in Ohio State. And then the Big Ten tournament after that. And look, Indiana, they take care of business, get in the tournament, and, no self-imposed limitations. This team, they can definitely take their shooting, and if they get in the tournament and get hot shooting, you could have games that could be a lot of fun where you play some real fast-paced games, and Nick Dorn, all these guys start to gain their confidence. We'll see. And could they make a run in the Big Ten tournament? New coach, new year, new players. And it's going to be all new players like next year too. So I'm here for it. I can't believe we're already to this point. And today it was so beautiful. The weather is cracked. It was like nearly 60 degrees today. So I'm talking to people already about getting their lawns mowed and what they're going to be doing this season. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I have great faith in this Indiana team. I love watching these guys play. I like the character of the players they brought in. And I think they've had good coaching from Darren DeVries. I think DeVries has, in the early season games when you're playing teams like Chicago State or, these terrible teams, it's really hard to know how guys are going to act when they play against the top level competition. But once the Big Ten started, Indiana had a little bit of a rough stretch there where they lost 4. They had some really tough games, lost some. But for the most part, Darren DeVries has been able to kind of steer this ship back onto course, get everybody on the right page, get other players to kind of step up like Dorn, like Alexis, like Bailey, like Enright, like a lot of the guys, and then filling in where he needs to. So there's a lot of dudes on this team that are making a big difference. Josiah Miles, another guy I did not talk about, but that's like really kind of raising his level. And then we didn't talk about Trent Sisley, but I think Darren DeVries knows maybe if his defense is lacking in practice, if he's losing his legs, I think this dude knows what he's doing. He's going to make the right decisions for this team. But Indiana, they're on their way, and we will be making more videos this week heading into the Purdue game. Should be a lot of fun. But until next time, stay classy out there, Hoosier fans.